視線を切らないだけではダンプティからは逃げられない。表面の死が完成すれば扉が開く。
Oh, so there's like a backup plan.
Oh, cool! It's like a weeping angel, but worse. If you keep looking at it for long enough,
you die anyway.
You just die a different way. Awesome.
Yay.
彼がどこまで逃げようと、あと少しでダンプティが閉まってくれる。
Okay, what happens if the door opens, though? We know that if the door doesn't open and it drops, it goes boom, and is a grenade.
But does the door do anything dangerous, or...
The door opens and it's just a hailfire of machine gun bullets.
Does she know what happens when the door opens?
I don't know. She seems quite sure it's going to kill him, so...
I guess. Could just take him to the land of gumdrops and ice cream, though.
Until the park, or rather the Snark, was destroyed, Soujuuro would not be able to escape. Which meant the larger concern was Aoko. Aoko had promised to protect the boy, which begged the question where she was going.
Right.
ここにいる限り、青子の動向はつかめない。
Oh, are you finally gonna start moving?
Maybe that's what she wants, though, Alice. Maybe she wants you to leave your perch.
Maybe.
Alice looked out over the park, ignoring the robin's attempts to get her attention with its plumage. Beautiful bird, the Norwegian blue. Lovely plumage. Flat Snark had nearly reached its full size.
Oh boy.
It was a different breed of beast compared to the other cheap ploys. To her, it was one of her 3 most irreplaceable and precious familiars. She was going to be really bummed if Aoko managed to kill it.
青子が諦めない以上、あなたも手は抜かないで。
You want to make really sure that Aoko regrets crossing you, huh?
Alice remained where she was. With the same historical merit as the troll under the bridge and the poison-clawed reptile,
Ooh.
Flat Snark was one of Alice's ultimate ploys.
A poison-clawed reptile, huh?
What is that referencing?
I'm not sure.
I mean, the bridge troll, I get.
Yeah,
right?
I get that.
Like, the fuck is the poison-clawed reptile?
Huh.
She was placing her trust in its reputation and ability.
でも忘れないで。これはゲームよ。勝敗がついたのなら、私のところに帰ってきて。
Okay. So, like, if you think you're gonna die, just run away, maybe?
The drifting fog ignored its master's words.
Oh, that's a bad idea.
Fuck you. It was the one thing that Alice had misread. Flat Snark was a king, even among the other ploys, of terrible, vulgar antics. Death to the defeated, gruesome tragedy to the vanquished. No pleasure unless
It found no pleasure.
I was not expecting 2 more words on that line.
Yeah.
It found no pleasure unless it brought about total ruination of life and wealth. The fog billowed like wicked laughter. After all, only a king had the right to decide the fate of the vanquished, and the Snark's greed could not be contained.
Huh.
These Zashu were gonna get fucked so hard.
Yeah. This thing thinks it's Gilgamesh.
This thing does think it's Gilgamesh.
Yeah.
Mongrels. Thus, it hadn't even the slightest intent to play fair, despite its master's orders.
Yeah, Alice kind of wants this to be a game, like she maybe wants to avoid killing Aoko, but the Snark doesn't seem to like that plan.
Over 100 feet high. One careful step at a time, the figure made its way gingerly up the track, stretching into the heart of the amusement park. Ah yes, my favorite line of dialogue. Hyphen, comma, space, hyphen.
Yeah, that's an odd one.
He stayed his beating chest and the pounding of his breath. Even tiny movements were an obstacle to his progress.
Oh my god.
Amazingly, The one making this pale-faced advance higher and higher was Soujuuro Shizuki.
He climbed to the top of that roller coaster?
I think he might have walked up the roller coaster.
I mean, I don't know if you can even walk up this incline, but maybe.
They got to be able to surface the track.
Oh, well, I mean, there should be a ladder, maybe.
Far below, he saw a horde of bread creatures had congregated by the roller coaster platform. As they bustled this way and that, their numbers continued to increase by the minute, seemingly cheering on Soujuuro with raised arms as he made his ascent. Or jeered him, more like, beckoning him to come down.
Fall! Dude.
Hey, lose your footing!
Yeah.
助かった。あれ、高いところは苦手なんだ。
Of course, neither did Soujuuro.
What?
What?
It's like Soujuuro didn't either, and they messed up the sentence.
Of course, neither did Soujuuro.
Oh.
What the fuck? Of course, Soujuuro neither did Soujuuro, but his current state was the lesser of two evils.
Yeah. I mean, better a little fear of heights than being torn apart by bread, I guess.
Oh my god. How?
Yeah.
How? You're professionals, please.
A little more proofreading, guys.
The only thing that followed him now was the floating egg. Unfortunately, the thing that floats didn't seem to mind heights.
Well, yeah.
After heaving a huge sigh. Actually, wouldn't this be a great place to take your eyes off of it, though? Like, the surface it would have to hit to explode would be pretty small unless it just
unless it explodes instantly.
Due to proximity or something. You know?
Yeah, I mean, you don't know necessarily that it's going to fall first.
After heaving a huge sigh, Soujuuro bent forward a bit and climbed the track that reached to the heavens.
Jesus.
150 feet now. If this were a skyscraper, he would be on the 16th floor.
That is pretty high up. Oh yeah, you better hang on to something. The wind gets really bad up there.
A strong gust of wind whipped through his hair. Humans had an instinctual fear of heights. In particular, a place like this, which called forth visions of falling to one's death, would cause a person's knees to tremble against their will. Honestly, falling to your death, probably better than being torn apart by bread monsters.
Debatable, but yeah.
I mean, the fall will kill you instantly. The bread monsters, probably not.
Yeah.
I mean, you might even die before you hit the ground. Like, apparently that's not uncommon with, like, falls, like death by falling. It's not always the fall that the landing that kills them. Sometimes they just die on the way down.
Like a heart attack or something?
Like their body's just like, well, I'm fucked, see ya.
Wow.
I'm gonna head out and spare the pain of impact.
Huh.
It was an instinct that forewarned death, urging its master to return to the safety of the ground. It was a reasonable reaction.
Yes. Ugh.
Climbing the roller coaster's tracks went beyond funny stories and into the realm of fantasy. The strong winds and change in air pressure were a hindrance.
Yeah, you could say that.
The air pressure's not that different 16 stories up.
Well, I mean, no, not really. The wind, though.
His instincts screamed at him to stop, causing his limbs to go numb, his muscles to go limp, and his mind to race. Even if he had been tied to a lifeline, a mere 15 feet of climbing would still have caused his thoughts to freeze out of sheer terror. And it would only get worse from here, exponentially so. I mean, I see where he's coming from. So we had, my high school had, like, 3 gyms for reasons that I do not understand. Like, we had the big one.
Yeah.
We had the back one. And then we had the, like, one upstairs.
Oh.
And the one upstairs was pretty small. But in that one, they had an entire climbing wall.
Oh, wow.
We literally had a rock climbing wall
cool.
in the high school. And This thing only went up like, I don't know, 10 feet, maybe 15 feet.
Okay.
I suck at rock climbing, to be clear. At least I did back then, and I haven't done it since. So I assume I still suck at rock climbing. But getting like even, I don't know, 3 or 4 feet off the ground was a point at which I was like, oh, this is sketch, man. Like, I know I'm belayed, and I know I've got like 3 people belaying me back there, and I'm not gonna like fall and hurt myself. But this is not right, dude. This ain't natural.
Yeah.
Put me down. I don't want to be up here. Every foot forward increased the load on both his mind and his body by another degree.
よし、頂上まであと少し。
Sure.
The burden on his mind notwithstanding, he carefully measured the toll on his body with every step. His legs, which had carried him running this far, threatened to buckle the moment he let down his guard. This fatigue was likely why Aoko had stressed that Soujuuro's role was more dangerous than hers.
Yeah, climbing something like that is kind of insane.
待てよ。逆を言うと、疲れてなければなんとかなると思ってたんだよな、青崎は。
A little.
Soujuuro laughed as he stared at the floating egg. He reflected on the course of events that had led to this absurd situation. Not even 10 minutes ago, they'd been engaged in conversation.
じゃあ次ね。正体が分かった以上、あとはどう壊すかを話し合いましょう。
Soujuuro felt a shudder travel down his spine at Aoko's smug grin. In hindsight, Aoko had been more than happy at this point to make him do something absurd.
どう壊すかって、それなら。
Destroy it, yes.
Yes.
Soujuuro had spoken up, figuring that what he was about to say was silly, especially considering Aoko had the magecraft to tear clean through the fence. Furthermore, up till now, he had not once offered his insight as to the true form of Flat Snark only due to his belief that there was nothing they could have done about it, even if they were the wiser. But that had changed. For Aoko, the impossible was quite literally within her grasp.
そうでもないわ。私の目算だと、あと50メートル分ギリギリで届かない。
Despair filled Soujuuro's eyes.
Oh, is that what that is?
Aoko lifted a hand to her long hair and, with the magical energy in her fingertip, cut a clean tuft from her head.
Oh?
足りない分は努力と根性ってね。あなたはできるだけ高いところまで逃げて。頃合いを見て合図を出すから。そうしたらこれを空に放ってくれる？しずきくんの役目はそれだけでいいから。
Also, I'm trusting you with this. Don't do anything creepy.
Huh.
But based on where Aoko had pointed her gaze, she didn't really mean to leave it up to Soujuuro to pick the highest place he could find. Aoko was staring conspicuously at one of the amusement park's 2 main attractions, the roller coaster.
つまり、青崎とは別行動をとって、あの怪物たちに追われながら、高いところに逃げ込めと。
そういうこと。ほら、あのうねうね動き出してるコースターのレールとかよくない？
Wow, wouldn't you know it? That roller coaster track is the perfect hiding spot for you.
There were 2 demons in this park. Her smile made even Soujuuro want to respond that it was far from perfect.
疑いたくはないんだが、本当はあの子とグルで俺を遠回しに殺そうとしてるんじゃないか。
This would be a very elaborate way to kill you.
Soujuuro, if I was working with that girl to kill you, you would have been dead by now.
Right.
Like,
He's
1,000 times over, my dude.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's just saying it to tease her, I guess.
私に殺されるのならいいんでしょ？
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Also, weren't you the one that said it was totally fine if I was the one that killed you?
人の出現を悪用するのは良くないと思う。
Soujuuro hung his head. This wasn't sane. If he did as she asked, he would die from exhaustion before Kitsu even had a chance to eat him.
私だって
Sorry,
鬼じゃないわ。
what?
The
こっち向いて。
Ferris wheel, maybe the other one,
Yeah, but why is Kitsy eating you part of the plan?
or
Like,
well,
that made it sound like him being
I
eaten
think
by
that-
Kitsy
I
was the
think
plan.
that's the failure condition. Like if he messes up, Kitsy eats him, and in this case, he would die even before that failure would happen.
おまじないかけてあげる。
A real charm or a Dumbo feather charm?
In before, she doesn't mean either, and she just like gives him a kiss on the cheek and like, there you go, there's your charm.
Let's see. Oh yeah, Matt. Oh, hang on.
Oh, it was the lightest of touches. She booped him on the snoot. Close enough for their breath and skin to come in contact. Okay, she's grabbed him by the forehead.
Yeah. He like barely got that out.
Yep. For one of them, this was a rather mundane magecraft. For the other, this was surprisingly intimate contact. And he
Yeah.
didn't think he could get married anymore, according to the customs of his village.
Right.
A head-spinning sneak attack of intimacy.
Yeah.
Or that.
軽く弱くうまく早く。
And now she's talking about her boobs.
Be light and something.
急げや急げ。
You know what? I wonder if... Is it try it? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Be
Be
light
light and trail...
and frail.
Frail, yes.
Nimble and fast. Tick tock, tick tock. There's no time to waste.
Words that could not be produced by a normal larynx, carrying a peculiar weight to them, reverberated against his eardrums. If words were given colors, these would have been the color of her name. Blue. Soujuuro's exhausted body and burning blood gently cooled.
飛ぶ泳ぐ駆け抜ける。
Fly, swim, run.
チクタクチクタク汽笛を鳴らせ。
Tick tock, tick tock. Sound the alarm.
星はいつでも北の空。どこまでもいつまでも。
Star is always in the northern sky, no matter where you go.
In reality, it took but a few seconds, but the sudden contact had felt a little longer until it ended.
よし暗示成功成功したはず。ここまで手応えがあったの初めてだし。
You don't have to tell him that part.
Okay, I kind of thought that was gonna fail, but the good news is, it didn't. I think.
アリスの小言もたまには役に立つじゃない。
You
Jeez.
can thank the lady trying to kill us for teaching me good how to do this. A very merry Aoko stood aside a very confused Soujuuro. After he asked what the heck had just occurred, she responded.
簡単な暗示よ。一時的に恐怖心を消しておいたから高いところに登っても平気なはず。
How temporary.
I don't think it worked.
Ah, I see.
That will temporarily erase your fears for the next 4.3 seconds. Cool. Thanks, Aoko.
あの手の作業で一番足を引っ張るのは動揺でしょ。恐怖も何も感じなければ地上何メートルだろうと平均台とそう変わらないってわけ。
But Aoko, those are also scary. Have you ever tried a balance beam? That shit is terrifying. It's like 12 inches off the ground.
And really narrow.
And really narrow. And you definitely feel like you're going to fall.
Yeah.